The only place people went to was a police station. And something funny about that police station is that people went with their goats, cows, and we were so many in one place. When children are crying, you just go to the cow next to you, even if it's not yours. You milk it and you give people food. It was so funny that I don't have my chair, I don't have my room, I don't have my cow, my goat, whatever is besides me, these are my people. And that time when I was there, the young men were always called to go and fight. I was afraid if I'm called to go fight because I didn't know how to fight. After all, you're fighting with people who are killing. So I would always hide between women and they are crying.
Hey, Lolito, to even imagine and think about crashes. It's not a situation whereby you would like actually to go back and think about it because it's painful.
I remember the army was brought to that camp. They came with trucks and they said people have to be taken to a safer place as the soldiers are fighting the killers because the killers are in the bush. And something funny is that there was no special arrangement of how people go. Like family of Abraham, you stay here. It is get in to the truck, get in, whoever is near. If my mom was away, when the truck is full, you just go. So I remember I went and I was in a different place. I found myself in a truck. My parents are not here with me. Nobody else is here with me. I just went to the truck. When it was full, the driver ignited the vehicle and we left. That's how I found myself in Nyeri town. The funny thing is that that time you didn't have to worry a lot because everybody is suffering the same thing you're suffering. People are crying. So we were somehow telling ourselves, what is all this? But something was telling me, what is happening? Because I have lost my university education. I have missed 1 point. I'm almost going to university. And almost to go. I'm now left desperate.
It brought us totally down. And were it not for the grace of God, it's not an experience actually one would wish to see people go through.
I waited to see what will happen next. The following day, I found my mom, they came, they were safe. They brought a few stuff. I remember they carried bags of maize. We had a lot of big land back home. We had lots of maize. We would sell them to make money. And a sofa set, few stuff. The house was left. And I was so happy to see them. It was between joy and sorrow. Sorrow because I don't know what will happen. We stayed there for a while. My parents, now my grandparents, the parents of my parents, came for my parents. We went to their place. It was too small. We can't fit all of us. This time round, I'm looking at my parents. I'm seeing the hopelessness in their hearts, in their eyes.
Have you ever been faced with the kind of aspect of rejection? Yeah, I know you don't know how rejection means. Rejected, okay, by the society. Now, being an IDP, it's a long story.
I'm the firstborn. I have my other smaller kids. I see how they're struggling to sleep. So I said, I'm grown up. Why don't you get out of here and then you go get your own life? So I wouldn't stand my parents in their parents' house trying to organize how to cook because this food is now too much for all these people. Even most of our staff, we are kept outside because the rooms are full. So they are out there. So when it rains, I see my mom going to cover up our bed, our everything. And I would see her walking and I'm wondering why even we come here. So I left. I went to town. I went to Nyeri town. So when I went to Nyeri town, it was not easy because sometimes I was feeling like something wrong has really happened. Something very wrong was really happened. I didn't have somewhere to sleep. And when I was doing my KCSE, going to university was very paramount for me. It was a must, it was a basic need. And all of a sudden, what was a basic thing for me became a luxury, because the basic was where to sleep, what to eat, what to wear. Kind of forgot about school.
It affected Bogo because he was about to join university. That is Abraham G. Now here are the siblings behind, still in need of education, but all the same, we picked up ourselves and regained our strength just to make sure that we are a family, cohesive, united, still focused, trying to bring back the normality of livelihood, and also being focused that our future will not be deterred by the violence that actually happened in the Rift Valley.
I remember I went to several churches in town. I moved from one place to the other. But one this morning, Sunday, I put on my blue counter suit. I was looking awesome, but I knew it's an old suit, very old. And my shoes. I walked to this church, Pefa Church in Nyeri town, and I sat. The sermon was awesome, people singing, and they called for the visitors. So when they called for the visitors, I stood, and we were 6 of us. The bishop asked for the visitors to come in front and tell the congregation their names and where they're coming from, like it happens everywhere. I remember I was on my far left, and the microphone went to the far right, so I was supposed to speak the last. Everybody was saying, I'm in Nyeri town for work, and I'll be here for the next 1 year, so I'll be coming to this church. I'm here to see my parent, I'm here to do what? So to the end, I was wondering, now what do I say? My story is so long, I don't know what to tell them. I'm new. I even don't have anything to ask them. But for 3 minutes, I took the microphone, and I just don't remember what I said. I just don't remember what I said. By the time I finished my 3 minutes, everybody was crying. Because for them, they were watching people dying on TV, whereas we are from that place. I stayed there, and the man of God said, before you sit down, we want to appreciate you. We want to care for you. We have seen this happening on TV. We have seen people being killed, and thank God that you are safe. And they took me. They did a contribution. They did a contribution that was up to 5,000 shilling. And everybody stood up, they came, they hugged me. Even I was wondering myself later, what did I say? I don't know. I don't know what I said. So even I was told to sit in front, and I sat in front, and I was given an envelope with money. I remember very well, I was getting tempted to count the money, but I was feeling, man, this how much? Because it's so sweet. But then, because in church you can't just count money, they say this guy is not real. So I waited, but that really touched me so much. After church, we were taken for tea for visitors. We were served tea and bread, and everybody would come and say, Abraham, God loves you, God cares for you, don't you worry, things will be better, things will be better. And so I got a chance to share with the pastor, and now they shared with me. They asked me, where are you staying? I said, I'm staying around. But I knew I didn't have a place to sleep, a place to stay, and I didn't know what to do. So after Sunday, the following day, I came back, I saw the pastor, and I shared with him my whole story. And he told me, it's okay, you can stay with us. There was a room in that church, and that room was occupied by the caretaker. And I said I would love to be around here and give me space and serve in this place. So when I was there, the pastor agreed for me to stay there. When he agreed, I now went to the brother who was the caretaker. He didn't like me. I don't know why, and I don't care, because anyway, people don't have to like you. So, and we struggled with him because he didn't want me to sleep there inside the room. But I knew there were some mattresses, because there was a school in that church where it was a kindergarten where kids sleep after 2 p.m. So I said, it was okay, I would take the mattress, I would take the sheet, the bed sheet, go them to church. I combined two forms, I made them, and I would sleep there. For 2 years, I was sleeping there. And all this time I was sleeping in this church, nobody knew I was staying there. Nobody knew. To the glory of God, I served in that church from being a church member to the point where I became the youth leader and a choir master by the time I was 2 years old. But I remember the few times I had issues around there is because this church was a prayerful church. In fact, even it was not locked. Every day, every hour, 24/7, you can pop in, come and pray. So me, I would hang around every night as if I came to pray. And every morning I would hang around as if I came to pray, and I came very early more than the other people. So that these people who came to church and they used to wonder, this guy must be prayerful. He's always in church. But they don't know that I'm sleeping there. That's my home. So one day, what I would do is that I would wait for people to go home. So I would pray by force, because if women came to pray and I'm around, I would join them, but at the far corner, because there was no private prayers anyway. If men came, if youth came, I would join them. So they knew Abraham is a prayerful guy. One time, I overslept, and because the people who came last night or the previous night overstayed. And me, every time I'm praying, I'm like asking, when are people going home? Because I want to sleep, but I can't say that. So when I overslept, another guy came very early in the morning when I had not woken up, and I used to lock the door. So he was expecting the door is open. So he came, pushed the door very hard, and he's like, the door is open, I'm going for work, I'm late. So he called the watchman. Hey man, what's up here? Why are you locking the door and this door should be open? He said, okay, wacha nifanya kazi. So he went to now my corner where I was sleeping. And I was like, Abraham, open the door. So that's how that guy came and opened the door. I was still sleepy. He asked me, you mean you sleep here? I was like, no, how? How can I be sleeping here? This church. I got up in sleep, and I was like, but the way I spoke, it was not convincing enough to make him feel like I was there to pray. Because he looked at me with eyes of, really? Really? You came here to pray? No. So I felt that, now that morning I felt, man, it's been 2 years, I'm sleeping in this church. Nobody knows. When I became the youth leader and in that church, we had one time they called for meeting, and they suggested that now it's high time we know each other better. You know, we got to appreciate one another. We got to know where you stay, you people, where you live, in case of anything, we bond. What they are saying is that we should now move from one place house to the other. So I'm a youth leader, and the one proposing is a member, and they are very convinced that it's a very good thing to do. And I said, yeah, I like the idea, so what do you think? So I'm talking like I'm supporting it, but I know, you people, you don't know that you're already in my house. You come here every day. You're already with me. I'm like, yeah, I'm here, this is my home. So they suggested, and I would let everyone else give their own opinion. And that thing went like that because I never supported it. I didn't want them to know that I stay here. It never happened. So, but every time they go home, I'm left in church, or we go home to town all together. When everybody dispersed, go to home, I make my way back to church. So that thing, when I'm coming back to church, I'm asking myself, when will this end? When I go back to my paper, the one I got in KCSE, 1 point less, why? I don't understand. I went to town, and with my friends, they helped me do some hustle, and I said I can sell some stuff. I bought some merchandise, some knives, sugar dish, a tablecloth, and I've never sold anything, but something was telling me go and sell. I moved in town, and I had a paper bag. I stocked it, it was full. It was time to sell. And I became blank. Where do I go sell now? I have the merchandise. You have knives, sugar dish, you have whatever, those kind of things. So I was in town, and something was telling me, why are you selling these things in town? These people are all over here. These things, they are in supermarkets. Even they look better in supermarket. Yours, they are in paper bag. So I would move in town literally with paper bag, supposed to sell, but I'm not selling. Because one, I'm afraid. How do I look when I'm selling these things? Some told me, why don't you go to the village where they are away from these goods they can buy? I went to Gangarithi, but I said I'll go door to door. I knock, I'm here, my name is Abraham, and I'm having these good things. They are made in Germany, Team Care, Germany. They have the best knife. You don't have to konora, talking onore, and I would sell. They would look at me. I'm wearing so nice. The shoes is not polished, but look nice. And they would tell me, "Oh man, I wish you came here last week or yesterday. I could have bought." So I'm like, why do you tell me how do I know even that you have to buy yesterday? I never sold anything. I moved to now Gangarithi, Classic, Scooter, Roringo. I remember I went to one butchery, and that's where I sold 2 knives. And this guy bought, and he told me on my face, "I'm not buying because I don't have knives. I'm buying to promote you. I'll buy these things and give to my friends." I was like, really? Did you have to tell me that? I felt desperate. I looked like someone is buying out of sympathy. And this time I'm also fighting about my dreams. But the much I sold, it was 200 bob. I was so hungry. I went and I ate all of it. That's how I left that job, and I said to hell with it. Among the dreams I wrote down that time when I changed my behavior is one, to become an author, to become a social entrepreneur, to become a filmmaker, to become an inspirational speaker, to travel to many nations. I didn't know how, when to become a philanthropist. I remember I saw that word from a story covered for Bishop DJX. He's a philanthropist. I said, if this is about him and I want to be like him, it must be good. So I want to be like it that time. I didn't know what it was. But I had those